Welcome to the Captain's Corner. My name is Osmo and I will be your host today. You may call me the Captain if you like, and today we have the Sounders FC post-game show on YouTube, unofficially, obviously. But let's give it a shot here. Week 1, Sporting Kansas City versus Sounders FC. Score ended up being 1-0 to Sporting Kansas City. Don't want to spoil it for you, but that's how it ended up. There's nothing more really to say regarding the score there, so... the one score that did go through, that's on Stefan Fry. Went right under his arms. He kind of saw it coming, but didn't see it coming, if that makes sense. After the fact, he made motions to me that's meant, oh, crap, I totally should have had that. And he should have. He doesn't usually make mistakes like that. I'm not expecting him to in the future. So, really, I'm just going to let this one go. I'm not going to let it stick in my mind. It's fine. As far as our efforts, we were hot in the first 20 minutes. We had actually what seemed like a great game going in the first 15-20. 8th or 9th minute, we had Jordan Morris actually going for his first professional goal ever. He was so excited. He ended up hitting it, goes over the top. He completely falls down to the ground and realizes, oh God, what have I done? I'm a professional football player. And then Nelson Valdez comes and picks him up and says, hey man, you've got not only more minutes to play in this game, but more years to play soccer. So let's get going. You've got things to do. I thought that was actually a pretty healthy thing for him to, make him go for there. As far as the midfielders, decent across the board again. Ivan Schitz was great on all the free kicks. I'm super excited that he's going to be our free kick specialist from this point on. He seems to be spot on and is really great at the deliveries from the left side especially. Ozzy had a decent game as the destroyer in the mid there, or in the inside there. Did a lot of great distribution. On the right side, we did have Brad Evans for a little bit. We also had Eric Freeberg. I don't think either of them had a huge impact on the game, especially after what's going to happen with the defenders. So let's get right to that. Defenders, big point in the game. O'Neal Fisher with a red card in the 40th minute. Came in, two-footed tackle. Unfortunately, both feet were up at the time, and I think he just kind of lost his head. He saw a teammate ahead of him, I believe it was Ivan Schitz, try and fail at a slide tackle right on that same player. I'm sure in his head he's thinking, oh, well, I got to do better. So he went in with 2 feet. Unfortunate. He was having a great game up until that point. But, yeah, ended up straight red card. First card of the game, in fact. The ref, Alan Kelly, when fans and supporters talk about refs, you always have to take it with a grain of salt. But I thought the game was okay for him. He probably could have stood to call a few more cards earlier just to keep the game a little more civil. But that didn't happen, so, that's all behind us now. As for the rest of the defenders, Jovan Jones, great addition. Super excited the way he's been playing. He was as good, if not better, than O'Neal Fisher's effort while still getting back to cover and defense. So it's a huge deal. O'Neal, while playing great in the offense, did get beat back a few times, and we'll have to consider that the next time he plays or starts at the right. But yeah, for both of those fullbacks on the outsides, I thought they had a great game. I'm super happy with both of them. Defensively in the center, we had Chad Marshall and Brad Evans for a little bit and Zach Scott for a little bit. There was issues moving those around, and I thought they were adequate across the board. Brad ended up getting injured at a certain point. He ran into Dom Dwyer, or I should say Dom Dwyer ran into him. Ended up dislocating or separating one of his shoulders, walked off the pitch. During the post-game interview with Coach Ziggy Schmidt, Ziggy reports that Brad's most likely going to be okay, come back within a week. There wasn't any real damage to heal necessarily. It's just pain being pain, which sucks. Sorry, Brad Evans. You're still the man. And yeah, that's the tale of the team, as it were. Still ends 1-0. Sporting gets the day, sadly. We were on such a good streak, too. 5 games without being beaten, especially at home. But we all, this kind of thing happens in soccer, especially in MLS. Parity is king. So we move on. We continue on for next week. We will be playing away at Real Salt Lake. And hope to see you then. Have a great night, everybody. I forgot to add, please subscribe, please share if you like. We're going to have more substance to these post-game shows as we continue on in the season and as I get better at them, quite frankly. But hopefully what we're going to do in the future is have live shows where you can actually be in chat at YouTube with me. So we'll plan on that for some of those daytime games when people are actually going to be staying up for it. But like I said, in the meantime, I will see you guys next week. Share, subscribe, and have a great week.